Hey, good morning, rural water. As you are entering our meeting, we say good morning to you. Thanks again for joining us this morning for this GIS mapping for LSLI informational training session. Today's host is going to be Jim Patton, and he's going to be joined with MRWA GIS mapping specialist Brandon Decker. Gentlemen, it's all yours.
Andy, appreciate that. Welcome, everybody. We're going to have a few more come in as we go on, but I'm here today with Brandon Decker. He is our MRWA mapping specialist. Today, we're going to go over GIS mapping, how to use it for your system. We'll also go into using the DiamondMaps for LSLI inventory. We'll hit on that a little bit, I believe. And again, if you got any questions anytime, throw it in the chat. It'll be right here in front of us. We can answer it live. But don't hesitate. If you've got any questions at all, please ask. So without any further ado, Brandon Decker, I'm going to let him get started.
Well, like Jim mentioned, my name is Brandon Decker. I've been with Rural Water we're going on 2 years.
Been 2 years.
Yep. Been in the water industry for 5. Ran a local district close to myself.
For a baby.
I know it. I know it. Never thought I would enter the industry at all. Whenever, what in my lifetime,
Kind of runs in your family.
It runs in my family, yes. But I never thought I would enter it. Ran a district for 3 years down south.
Yep.
Wife city clerk down there, and
So it is in your family.
correct. I actually entered our MRWA Water Apprenticeship program through Southeast Missouri.
Okay.
And then once I completed that in August. And I was approached about maybe being interested in this position come November. And I jumped on board and took off from there. I've loved every minute of it. It's a whole different task than whatever I was ever dealt with though.
Yeah.
You know, when you're in the water and the sewer industry, you're out there.
You're
in the
focused on
ditch.
your stuff.
That's it. Now that I'm on this side of it, I have to take care of everybody's system. I have to benefit and better everybody's system, not just my own.
But you're out there, just like circuit riders are, but you're out there, you're seeing how each system is different.
100%. And I haven't walked into a system that was ever the same.
Yeah, and you're not going.
No. But I think one of the main things I really enjoy about my job is I get to come in and revamp their system to say,
Yep.
Improve it,
Right.
better it for the future,
Right.
and set it up for these next generations to come.
Right.
Because we're starting to see this younger generation step into our fields.
Mhm.
And
the younger generations
it's technology
do new
based.
technology.
Yes, it's technology based. And so they're stepping into it and there's not much learning process going into it and they're taking it to different levels.
Right. Right.
And I just enjoy seeing a system just improve for the better of themselves.
Well, this GIS, the mapping system, my old system, I can remember when I started there, all we had was an old paper map that had been marked on 50,000 times.
Thrown on the dash of a truck.
Yep, had measurements on it from this tree, from the oak tree to here, 10 feet. But that's the way it was.
That's the way it was. And the funny thing is we're bringing up this GIS topic. Paper maps are about a thing of the past.
Yeah.
They really are.
Yeah.
I know very little systems that are still able to get them.
A lot of good information on them.
A lot of good information.
But you can take that information and put it on this.
Correct. But you say a lot of good information. Some of them as-builts may not have been completely accurate.
Exactly.
So when we throw in the GIS side of things, when you have your system GIS map, it is accurate.
Yeah.
Your valves are in that spot. Your meters are in that spot. Now your water lines, they're going to still do their own thing.
Right.
They're a thing of their own. But the physical objects that we can see and put a dot on, we're putting an exact mark on it.
Right where it's at.
Yeah, and
within inches.
With the systems and the upgrades that we have here, we are 0.2 of a foot away.
There you go.
from where we're standing. So if we're on a valve lid, manhole lid, we're dead on.
Yeah.
And I mean, people kind of laugh and snicker when I say we're dead on, but I promise you, I've been back to some systems that I had mapped them, and then per se I had to come back and, hey, can you come help me find this manhole? I can't get my DiamondMaps to work, or a lamp hole. You pull it up, they've got a built-in GPS like the car does.
Right.
When you're walking, that yellow dot's following in your direction.
Yeah.
It'll walk you right to it. Right to it.
That said, I was at a system not too long ago that Howard had mapped.
Correct.
And we were looking for a valve. I called Howard and I said, I'm looking at it on our map, on my phone. I'm looking at it. I know it's here somewhere. It's been covered up or something's happened to it. And he said, well, push your little man thing and it'll put that dot, it'll follow you and you'll be really close. And I said, okay. Then I got my valve box locator out and where the dot said I was at and said where the valve was at. I took my valve locator and moved it about a foot away from me, and it's right there.
Yeah.
But it was about 8 inches, 10 inches deep.
Yeah. And that's the thing about the funny thing about GIS. If you don't have that GIS map, you're digging up roads. You're digging up yards.
Yeah.
And that's just that. I mean, it's costly.
Yeah.
That's inefficient. That's costly. This is just the way the future's going.
It is.
I mean, not even just in our industry, all industries are going technology based. It's just the way of everything.
A diamond, and not just DiamondMaps, but GIS mapping. We do DiamondMaps. That's what we do. There's layers to this DiamondMaps that, oh my God, it's just not lines on the map anymore.
No.
There's so much more that you can do.
You're color coding your assets. Yeah. You're putting a different shape per asset. And yes, we use DiamondMaps, but there's tons of GIS programs out there. We have just built a good relationship with them. We like the way their product runs. I like the way their customer service works. There's 2 gentlemen that I can call 24/7. They answer the phone. They help me, and that's the same way I pitch it to our customers.
Well, and it's the same way with the systems.
Yeah.
If they have an issue, they can call you.
Yeah.
Or if they're customers from DiamondMaps, they can call DiamondMaps themselves.
Correct. I mean, that's one thing I strive here is our customers are the same way. If you call me at 1 o'clock in the morning with a problem, you've obviously got a problem.
Yeah.
I can take my time, fix it, because then I know that you're back on your way. That's one thing I stress for here is customer service. And
when you make these maps, you can do a lot of stuff remotely. 100%. You can pull up a map at your house. They may be in northern Missouri and you're down in Poplar Bluff, and you can fix it right there.
Well, it's not just me; it's all of our employees.
Yeah.
If MRWA Water sets up your account through DiamondMaps, all of my employees have access to your map. So per se, you've got you, Joanne Stein, Nate Lyons,
all of them.
You guys, the circuit riders, even on the wastewater side, you've got a problem. You can kind of give them the general area of that problem. You guys can take a look at it 2 days, 3 days before you go.
Yeah.
You guys already have a game plan before you roll into town. It's just efficiency.
Actually, we had a system that they were out of water. I mean, and we were, Joanne Stein and I were headed that way. We were looking at the map on our phone while we were headed that way, looking about the valves that we need to shut off to get the water going back to the tower, get the tower filled back up so we can start.
Correct. It's just efficiency.
It was just.
Would you rather be efficient like that and have everything ready to rock and roll, or drain the tower?
Yeah. Well, when we got there, we already knew what we were going to do, what valves we were going to hit first. We knew that. We had a game.
And you weren't searching for valves when you got there.
Before we even showed up. No.
You weren't searching for valves when you got there. You already had them. GIS, you knew where they were. You could walk right to them.
Yep.
You weren't spending the extra, hour or so looking for that valve.
Yeah. So it does work good.
It does work good.
We're just sitting here talking real quick, just trying to get. If you don't have a GIS map, I don't care if it's DiamondMaps or what you use, but like I said, DiamondMaps is what we use. But the technology these days. What you get out of these maps is so superior to the old paper maps. There's hands down.
It is, and also as we go through this today, I'm gonna kind of show you through a PowerPoint way of kind of slow it down, kind of talk about that. But then I'm gonna show you the live view of how DiamondMaps really works.
Right.
And it's not a selling point for me to try to sell you DiamondMaps or anything like that. I want to just show you the simplicity of GIS mapping in
How
general.
it's used.
And also, and if you do like the idea of DiamondMaps and you have another GIS program, we can make it
work.
we can make it work.
Yeah.
Don't run off with this as this is just one big sales pitch or anything.
Not going to be a
We're just showing you the way that we've made it work for us, that we have found. You can ask people throughout the state of Missouri. We're making it work for them too.
Yeah.
I mean, just simple as that.
Well, let's go ahead and get into your presentation.
Let's do
And
that.
again, if you've got any questions as we go through this,
Don't
ask away. Put it in the chat box and ask away. Brandon, go ahead.
Can I get my PowerPoint up on the screen, please? So as stated at the beginning, Brandon Decker, joined Missouri Water in November of 2022. I was the previous water superintendent in Butler County #2. That's in southeast Missouri, right outside of Poplar Bluff, town of 297. My wife's actually the city clerk in the city of Hewlin. We have 2 children, 8 and 7. All we do is spend our time with
Keep you busy.
I mean, that's our life is sports. We just run. My phone number and my email is on the screen right here, which it'll be attached to in other times. So how DiamondMaps and GIS works. So DiamondMaps, all it is a web-based internet browser. You can access it from a phone, a tablet, your computer at work, laptop, and all you do is log in, and your map is right there at your fingertips. Out in the field, in your office, if you're in a meeting with an engineer, it's all right there. You're not having to roll out, 3 or 4 maps connecting. Hey, this water line goes this way. No, you can show them in real time where it's going.
Yeah.
You can see where that valve lays in the roadway, where that manhole's off in a creek, because we see those all the time. We see them all the time. When you're looking at a paper map, you can't see that valve or that manhole's in the middle of that creek. So, you're going out on a limb sometimes when you're going to look for them. But if you can get it GIS, you can see it in real time where it's at. It's a monthly base fee. You have up to 99 users on the account. Now that benefits a lot.
99 users.
Up to 99 users
on one account.
On one account. Average of a 500-meter system, you're looking at like $34 a month.
Right.
That's change.
Yeah.
That's change. But the benefits of having so many users, you live in a town, you have a good relationship with all your guys. How often do you have a contractor coming into town? Pretty regularly.
Yeah. So
you give them access to view your map
if you want.
Yeah. They can't make changes to it.
Yeah.
They can't do anything to it, but it saves the babysit factor of it.
Yeah.
They can see instead of calling it, and they got to call them to locate. Yes, but how many times have we painted something? It rained the next day or rained that afternoon. Your paint's gone.
Yep.
Or you put flags out there.
Somebody mows and
They mow it. They either hit every one of them or they pull them out of their yard and throw in a pile.
Yep, it happens.
It's just a little factor of it, and that also goes into right now when a lot of these systems have allotted grants that they're having individuals come in and do their lead service, like we're going to talk about today.
Yep.
You can give them access to do their lead service on your account.
Yep.
Another benefit. That inventory is always there.
Yep.
You always have that inventory underneath that meter.
Yep.
10 years down from the road, you still know what's
and that's something to talk about too. Doing the lead service line and a contractor coming in, you give them permission to use that if you've got the DiamondMaps, and
correct.
There's a layer for that. Pictures. If you take pictures of something, you can put the picture right in DiamondMaps and it's right there. You don't have to put it in a file anywhere. This
And that picture's not just for lead service.
and it's not just for lead.
How many times have you, and I've done it, you put in a leak 2 weeks later, you don't remember what part you used.
Yes. What did I do?
That's an inventory on parts. That's an inventory of seeing how many parts are in that section of pipe that, hey, maybe it's a good idea. Let's just go from bell to bell and replace a whole piece of pipe here.
Yep.
Yep. But you can pull your measurements off a little bit easier too.
Measurements, yes.
You can pull your measurements off an object there, roadway, house, something like that. That way you have an exact measurement, a photo of maybe a tape or something like that that you can kind of keep a good solid record of.
Right.
Customer service, like I said, I can call them right now. It would ring once. They're on the phone. How can I help you?
Yeah.
And just like them and us too, we strive to fix your problem right then on the phone. There's not gonna now unless I'm extremely busy, maybe in a system, you're not gonna get something from me. Can I call you back in an hour? No. Let me take 5 minutes out of my schedule to fix this problem for you.
Yeah.
Because that just shows what our customer service is really gonna be about.
Right.
Latest imagery. I got an email a while back. By 2027, they're going to have all new flyovers for aerials for the state of Missouri, and even Google real time on there to where. And well, I'll kind of show you how some of that works. You'll see it real hand in a little bit. Color and symbol coding. We've noticed with lead service line inventory, and we're going to show you in a couple slides. You can color code everything to see where your hot spots are. You know, you can color code them to say all PEX in your system is red for even public water side and customer side, because we've got to do customer side with this lead service.
Right.
So if we can see where our hot spots are, we know how we can approach it in per se zones.
Right.
Kind of keep the cost down like that, because if we can stay in one section to replace that, we're just money heading in.
Right.
Address and search bar, you can search anything in the world. We got bored the other day and we pulled up the lighthouse, and you can kind of do it along straight to DiamondMaps. Now you can't go in everywhere in it, of course, but I mean that's what makes it easier. You have a customer call and they're like, hey, I bought this piece of property. Well, you may not have that piece of property, you may not have a meter there yet. But you can pull up that piece of property, look at it, pull out some measurements on it to know how far of a main you need to, or a service you need to run, maybe a main extension too,
right,
to get to that per se property that's bought. Because I see all the time people building houses, you're having to extend mains, you're having to run services. You know, it ain't uncommon anymore to see a service 1,500 foot.
Yeah, long. Yeah,
and it's not. But you're not out there walking the roadway with a wheel like we used to do.
Right.
You're sitting at a desk pulling up that measurement on your computer.
Yeah. Yep.
And export to CSV.
Okay.
Export to CSV basically means all the information you have underneath, per se, your meter layer, your fire hydrants. We all have to keep fire hydrant inventory for flush reports.
Yep.
DNR requires it. That can all be sent to an Excel sheet. Also works in board meetings. Does your board want to kind of see how everything's rolling, see what updates we're making, anything like that? Send it straight to the CSV file, print it out.
Well, if you do fire hydrants, you can do valves too.
100%. Valve maintenance is a big thing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I've walked into some towns, well, I don't know if that valve works. Well, then you can put in there underneath there, hey, we need to do valve maintenance on here.
Yeah. So it's just a layer in the maps.
Just a layer in the maps, correct. System we use GPS, DiamondMaps. We built a very good relationship with them. Trimble, also, they are a big supporter of us. We have had a big, built a relationship over the years with them they make our lives easier when we have problems. And then, like I said, 3.157 from exact location standing. And we've improved, and that was a year ago per se, and we've improved since then.
Pretty close.
You know, so if you're standing right there at that hydrant, on top of that hydrant, you're going to be right back on top of that hydrant. How could GIS improve your facility? Precision accuracy in inclement weather or disasters.
Very true.
Very true. The main problem we've seen this year is tornadoes and flooding.
Yeah.
Tornadoes and flooding.
Yeah.
I had Paul Shaw more.
Yeah.
I've heard this, and you've heard the story many times. When Caruthersville got hit by the tornado, they didn't know what roads were working.
Well, the same way with Joplin. When it was in
100%.
Joplin, all the street signs was gone.
No hydrants were there.
No hydrants. Everything's covered up. Valves were covered up. You didn't know where anything.
The road you thought you were on was 3 roads over.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's just a big thing, and you don't think about that until it's too late and it's happened. There's no. But if we can get ahead of the ball game, then we have pre-planning. Now, mind you, it may never happen, but if it does, you're one step ahead of the ball game.
Right. Right.
Like we stated earlier, have a digital map at your fingertips 24/7. We all have that rolled up map on the dash. Every year you're replacing it.
Yeah.
Sun hits it, spill coffee on it,
Gets wet.
How fun is it? And we've all done it. How fun is it to pull a paper map out when it's raining, try and find a valve?
Throwing it on the back of the tailgate.
Yeah, I mean, it's covered in water. You can sit in your truck with having multiple users. This also plans out too. You've got 2 guys in one truck and 2 guys in another. You're trying to shut off valves. Well, you each have your own account. Your valves are numbered. You can say, hey, truck 2, go to valve 1737. And then truck 1 will go to 1 and 14.
Yeah.
Minimize that leak faster.
Right. Right.
It's just the one thing I always preach is efficiency, efficiency, efficiency. Efficiency is what saves you money.
Right.
And everybody, that's all I ever hear. How do we save money? Efficiency is the number 1 way to save money.
Right.
Locate's made easy. A lot of locate forms now, which I haven't looked at. I looked at them here and there since I came to MRWA Water, but everybody's got coordinates. They always put coordinates for an exact location on there. Well, there's a coordinate tab on here. You drag the crosshairs around the map, and I mean, it's telling you it's telling you the exact coordinate where you're going to be standing. I mean, just like you said earlier, trying to find that valve, pull up that dot, pull up them coordinates. You're going to walk right to it.
And it works.
And it works.
Yeah.
It works. That with the old and with the new. Like I said, paper maps, thing of the past. I have 2 places in the state of Missouri that will print me a paper map. 2. And none of them are close to where I live.
Yeah.
One of them I'm driving, Columbia, 4 hours in one direction. Kansas City, 6 hours in one direction.
Yeah.
When I can have a map at my fingertips.
And look at it at your house.
If you're gone, even when I'm going to be on vacation next week, I'm still going to take a phone call.
Yeah.
I'll be sitting in Florida on the beach, and I can still fix your map from my phone.
Right there.
Right there.
Yeah.
New install and repair measurements. We're all getting ready to, when this lead service is done.
Well,
now it's the revamping part side of it.
Yep.
If you can, Park Hills. I talked to the gentleman down there one time. He said at one spot he's got 17 miles of main that's going to have to be replaced.
Yeah.
Well, would it be easier to measure 17 miles from your laptop, or would it be easier to walk 17 miles from the wheel?
Yeah.
I don't even want to walk to the mailbox.
Yeah.
But I mean, and that also goes for services, new services. That doesn't have to just tie to lead service.
Right.
We're putting in meters all the time. We're extending mains all the time.
Yeah.
You can use the measurements plus the elevations to know if you're going to need a booster pump.
Right.
If you're going to need a lift station on the super side of it. On the map, on a paper map specifically, it's all white.
Yeah.
On DiamondMaps, you can kind of see a little bit of imagery, but you don't know the grade of anything.
Right.
The grade's not 100% accurate, but it's going to get you in the ballpark to get a good idea. Hey, are we going to need to approach this a different way? Are we going to need to think about putting a lift station at the bottom? Do we need to think about if this is going to be in the budget?
Yep.
River crossings. Rock.
Yeah.
Fields.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a whole lot of things. You're going into new territory with new mains. You may not have easements.
Yeah.
You may have to jump across the highway. Well, then you throw that in there, that's 40 foot of pipe. One way, 80 foot coming back. Just the measurements like that.
Yep.
You can do it all fast, right there at your fingertips, instead of having to backtrack 2 or 3 times of these assumptions that what can happen. As-built's not accurate.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how many times I've walked in a system. Well, the map says it's right here. The map does say it's right there, but buddy, it's not there.
Yeah, we've been there. We've all done that. Show up to a system. Well, that water line should be over here.
Yeah.
Well, it's not. It's over here.
Yeah, Wayne was down in my territory last year, and they had a rice field, and it was flooded. You know, they were growing rice in it. Well, they drained that whole rice field into the cornfield across the road to find the main on the rice field. Well, come to find out, it was in the cornfield the whole time.
Where they just flooded.
But they kept saying, it's on my map, it's on my map, it's on my map. Them as-builts aren't right. And I'm not for saying that once we GPS your system, it's not going to be 100% accurate. You've got to still do the legwork on your end to find where them mains are. Yeah, you
know where the valves are.
You can connect the valves, but that doesn't mean it's always going to lay like that. They went around trees. They went around cars. If there's something in the way, they were getting paid to put in a foot of pipe. They weren't getting paid to move the car.
Yeah.
Elevation accuracy for sewer systems. That kind of goes back in the same way. When we GPS a manhole, we're getting elevation on top of that manhole.
Right.
Not 100% dead on. None of them were.
Pretty close.
Pretty close. But that's one step taken away when you have an engineer come in and do a sewer project. Because the first thing that engineer is going to want to do is get an elevation on all them manholes.
Yep.
When you get an elevation on it, you can also pop that manhole, see how deep it is. You can take pictures of maintenance.
Yep.
Everything's, when they do maintenance on them, they put that tag in there. You can save that a photo of that tag.
Well, everybody has I&I problems.
Everybody has I&I problems.
We can use this as putting your notes, putting your pictures, everything on your sewer lines, your manholes, smoke testing. You do smoke testing, you can put it in on notes at that manhole.
You can take photos of where it's coming up in the yard
and have it right there on your map.
I was in a system the other day, and every manhole they had in the town had 17 holes drilled on top of them, about an inch around. But the thing that they were going to do is they were going to start replacing manhole lids. Well, what better way to keep track of it is by a photo each time that they replace that manhole lid and color code it. You can color code it to where if you replace it, it can go red. If it's not replaced, it can stay green.
Right.
So you can keep track of, say you want to do 5 a month.
Right.
A lot of people don't have the budget to come in and do a whole, 98 at one time. But if you can do 5 to 10 a month, you can keep track of where you're going. That way your board can see how you're moving along, and you can keep track of like what that final bill is going to be.
Right.
If you need to buy them all at once, you've got an exact number of how many you need to buy at one time.
Right.
Record keeping simplified and filed. Underneath, which we'll tag into that a little bit more, but underneath all these layers of your meters, your fire hydrants, your manholes, any information you want to store in there, we can make that happen.
Yeah.
If you want, I know whenever I ran my system, it wasn't a big problem, but a lot of times whenever I would have to call for a phone number. Well, you can save that individual's name, phone number, address under their DiamondMaps account, and you've got it at your step. You're not having to bother your clerk.
Yep.
It's just, and that also goes with record keeping. A lot of these systems are going to cellular read meters,
right?
Drive-by meters. When you're doing your updates, you can snap a photo of those tags, because when you go to the new systems, the endpoint and the meter have tags on them.
Mm-hmm.
You can have a visual photo of both of them instead of trying to write it down. You get back to your office. Well, is that an O and A?
What did I do with that paper?
Yeah. Or I'm world's worst.
Yeah.
Throw a paper on the dash. It somehow ends up in the trash, blown out the window, stomped on in the floorboard.
Yeah.
It just, and it's real time too. So if you're out in the field doing that, you're both getting it done at the same time. Your clerk is pulling up your DiamondMaps so she can see when you're putting them in. She can go ahead and have that information started.
Right.
That way she's not having to sit and wait for you to play catch up and get done.
And you got a record of your meters in your system, when it was installed.
When it was installed. Batteries don't last in them.
Yeah.
You're changing endpoints out. You put a new endpoint in, and
We got a question here. Is there a minimum cost for DiamondMaps?
I just under 200 services. Off the top of my head, I want to guess $18 a month, just for DiamondMaps. Now, when I say that $18 a month, that's $18 a month. There's no hidden fees. There's no extra fees built in. That's $18 a month.
Right. So a system like that, say 200 connections. I think that's what it said. For you to come out and map that, get water and sewer, roundabout.
$6 grand.
$6 grand, five grand.
$6 grand.
Pretty cheap for a up-to-date mapping system.
And I'm
Digital.
gonna throw myself out here. That 200-meter system, we're in and out in a day.
Pretty fast.
If you know where your stuff is,
And that's the thing. You got to know where
you got to know where your assets are.
Your valves, your hydrants.
That's one thing I stress. You got to know where your assets
Before you come in,
Yeah.
that system goes out and locates all the valves, locates all the meters and the hydrants. You come in, 200 connection system, you're in and out in a day.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, 300-meter system, we're in and out in a day.
Is that $5 or $6 grand with maps and all layers?
Yeah.
That's everything.
Yeah, that's everything.
Yeah.
That's everything.
So
That's in and out the door.
yeah. Oh, Randall, you need to contact her. I was supposed to call you the other day. I'm sorry. I just contacted him.
We'll get that taken
Yeah.
care of. Yes.
But
We're
that
still looking at
goes.
that. Okay.
But for a system 200 or 300, $5, $6 grand, that's pretty cheap anymore.
It really is.
To what you're getting.
Yes. And I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way, but a lot of these operators that have been in the game for 30 plus years, they're getting out of the game. Where's all that knowledge at? Right
They're
here.
right here, and it's going to go with them.
It's going to go with them.
Yeah.
It's going to go with them. I've seen where they're like, well, hey, I can call this guy. And
And that operator,
he's no longer available.
if a system has that operator, and I've seen it, it's been done before. That operator, like you said, getting ready to retire. They don't have the maps. He says, I'm going to retire here in a year. Come in, let's map this system.
Yeah.
Let's get this knowledge
Don't wait till the
on
last
that
second.
map.
Don't wait till the last second, because when you call me, it could be 6 to 8 months before we're rolling into your area.
Because that information that operator has
Yeah.
at several different meters, several different valves, even leaks.
Yeah.
Even leaks that he's fixed and replaced.
Mains that are nowhere close, you would even think there'd be a main.
He has that information. You can put that on him.
Yeah.
You can put the leak information on him.
Yeah.
So, there's a leak lane that, it says, we fixed this leak here, we fixed this leak here. That's it.
And you can color code them to where if you still have a leak or not.
Yeah.
When you fix that leak, you save a photo underneath it, the date it was fixed, the date it started, how many gallons of water you were losing from
So
that.
much you could do with these maps.
I mean,
it's crazy. Work orders.
Work orders. We'll dabble into that.
Okay. All right. I'm getting ahead of myself.
But let's go ahead and touch on that, because they were talking about completed maps. Also, in that $5 to $6 grand with DiamondMaps and that $18 a month, that is a built-in work order system. I know many places that are paying $1,500 a year for their own work order system. When this work order system that we provide through DiamondMaps color codes it and saves it and works it all together,
What's nice about this, the clerk or the billing clerk in the office
can send it to
can
your
get
phone.
right on DiamondMaps, send it right to your phone, your iPad, in the truck when you're out in the field, and say, hey, this is an emergency. We got to get this done.
Yeah.
The guys can go right out there, right quick, do their thing, and get right back on DiamondMaps and
Complete it.
it's done.
Complete it. Once you're and and if you have monthly meetings, quarterly meetings, you can print out all those work orders to a CSV
And
hand them to your board and be like, here, this is my work inventory for the month right here.
Yep.
This is all the leaks we had. No. It's the same amount. You just take the $18 times 12 months. But it does give you the option at the initial setup. When the initial setup is when I set your map up, you get a 30-day free trial with it, and then after that 30 days is up is when you will receive an email stating that your billing will start, and it will give you the option to go yearly or monthly.
Yeah.
But you do get that 30-day free trial.
Yeah.
And that 30-day free trial does work, kind of gives you the board that, hey, we're getting ready to pay for something good.
Right.
Once they see it. But
well, and let's kind of tell what that $18 a month or $20 a month or $30 a month. Bigger systems will pay a little bit more. Let's just kind of explain what that's for. It's for the updates, and
it's for that $18 a month is for the updates, it's for the kind of customer service, for them to keep your maps updated. There is everything in your system is backed up on 5 different servers every night at midnight. So say something crashes on your end, and I've had it happen. I had an individual call me one night. It's about 8 o'clock at night. He said, I just logged into my map. I have 0 meters. Well, they deleted the whole meter layer. I was ready to pull it. I had it pulled up in about 5 minutes. But it was the availability of that backup server right there that I was able to grab on. Now, anything that he did that day, I didn't have a record of, but anything from the previous day, I basically started the meters back.
you can go back from the last backup.
Yeah, at ground zero. Yeah, yeah.
So you don't lose much.
You don't lose much, no. But then all the perks, your measurements, your inventory, your asset management. When you think about that in general, $18 a month is nothing.
Well, you also train us and adding staff as we find it.
Yeah. So I will do a personal one-on-one trainer.
Yeah.
But there's also
so more or less what this question is, they go out first and find out what they've got. You come in and map, and they start finding additional stuff.
Correct.
You can come in and
and what I stress on that is I will show you how to add the stuff throughout the time.
Yeah.
What I kind of push for is, hey, throughout the year, find stuff. When it gets to the downtime of winter, whenever I'm not hot and heavy, why don't I come in and update it? All those assets that you found throughout the year that we might have missed, because in reality,
or you've added.
Yeah, or you've added. Just did one of last month.
Yep.
Me and Mark got together. Yeah, they did a lot of updates.
Updates, yes.
And we spent, and they did probably, let's per se, 60 updates. Took 3 hours. Hey, let's go in. Let's run through it all. Let's get and now they had marked it, yes, and started the information side of it. But whenever I went in and GPSed it, we just drug the dot that they had put on there with all the information over the top of it. You got an exact point on it. Right. You didn't lose any information.
Yep.
It's just an additional step. But also to your second part of the question, say you call me, you don't get me. It happens. I mean, I can't be at my phone all the time. In the menu button that I'm going to show you in a little bit, when we go to the live version of this, there's tutorial videos. It's visual tutorial videos that's doing the steps, but also talking you through how to do the steps at the same time for anything you want to do on this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, per se on both of them, yes, there's videos, and I train, I answer, I can do a lot over the phone.
Yeah.
Sitting on my recliner, I can do a lot over the phone.
Right.
We can jump back up here. Now, the big topic of the day.
Yep.
That's service line inventory assistance.
Yep.
DiamondMaps actually took the DNR spreadsheet that Austin built and placed it under the meter layer, so where it's the same drop downs, the same everything you have,
same questions,
questions. You're doing it off DiamondMaps instead of the spreadsheet, but you're always going to have that inventory underneath your DiamondMaps. and I can transfer straight from your DiamondMaps and fill in the blanks in your DNR spreadsheet.
That's the question I had, and everywhere I go, I have this question if they have DiamondMaps is how do I get it off my DiamondMaps onto the spreadsheet?
So I have a step-by-step in this slide we're getting ready to go through.
Yeah.
So everybody on here that's watching it, I'm going to go over it twice. I'm going to show you the live version, but I also have a step-by-step to these slides. If you want to get out your phone and take a photo of each one of these slides we're going to go through here in the next 15, 20 minutes when we get there, I'll let you know. You can snap a photo to make it easier. Now, that's not saying my phone, your phone, my phone, September, Verizon's going to have a problem with how many phone calls we're about to get.
Right.
We'll walk you through it.
Yeah.
I plan on doing a little bit of travel.
And that was what I was asked.
I'm probably going to cover probably the south side.
Okay.
Jim probably cover middle toward the top. But yeah, we're gonna help you. Don't stress over that. That's the easiest part
That's
of
the questions I'm getting.
No.
How do I do this? And can you come and show me how to do it?
Correct. No, don't stress over that part. Stress over getting this inventory done before you stress over filling in the blanks. Correct. And when we transfer over, it will type everything in for you. You print it off, you sign your name, put it in the mail.
No, hang on, stop. You don't mail it. We're going to email.
Email it.
I'm sorry.
I caught myself there. Yes, I caught myself there.
No.
Email it.
Yeah.
But yes, you print it off. It's all typed in there.
Yeah.
There's you're not having to try to write in.
So I mean, there's a few steps.
There's a few steps here, but we're gonna show you the live. We're gonna download. I have a mock map built that I've done some lead surface line inventory on.
Okay.
We're going to do the download, and then we're going to go through the DNR spreadsheet in live with a mock map built on it.
There we go.
So we're going to show you guys all hands on.
Yes, sir.
I got a quick question. Goes in with Rondell's. On the Missouri Rural Water Association's website, Lead and Copper Rural Resources, we have 4 DiamondMap 2-minute videos, 3-minute videos that explain using DiamondMaps for your lead service line inventory.
Correct.
So
awesome.
They might want to use that as a resource. I'll put the link up in the chat, but just sharing that real fast.
Awesome. And I also haven't seen if that's under the menu watch videos tab yet. That's something I actually need to look into and see if that's on the DNR or on the DiamondMaps website too.
But it will. The layer on DiamondMaps for the LSLI. Once you put that information in your DiamondMaps, then when you're done, at the end, that few steps transfers it right to the DNR spreadsheet that you've got downloaded on your computer. And then we'll email that spreadsheet to Austin when you're completed.
Yeah, it's simple. If you're stressing over that, then I just quit stressing. That's the simple part of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so function is a map. This is just going to be kind of a real quick run through of it. You've got your menu tab, your layers tab, which if you notice over on the side of the screen, layers, that's all the assets that this system had. You know, your towers, your lift stations, your pump house, it shows your mains, this, that, and another. We color code the mains, your measuring tools, markup tools, draw. That draw icon is going back to that question earlier. That's gonna be how you draw everything, how you place your mains on the map, how you place your meters on the map, addresses, share. The cool thing about this, and I've actually got some clerks on board. You can take a parade route and put on here.
Yes.
You can take
a
road closure, and I'm going to show you in the live version road closures.
Yep.
And you can screenshot the DiamondMaps. It will give you a URL. You can put that on your Facebook page and your website, and your city individuals can look at that and pull it up, and it saves you a million phone calls. Your girls are awesome.
We're talking here, and as he's talking, I'm going, we're doing that.
Yes. Yes.
Parade routes, your police department, they can go in and we want to block this street and that street and that street. You can do that right off the map, share that with anybody, put it on your website. Hey, this street's going to be closed.
Yeah.
Such and such.
You're
So much stuff.
Your girls are my guinea pigs when I thought of that and brought it up, and they have just took it. I mean, they just flown away with it. Well, it's just the little things like that I mean, it doesn't sound like efficiency, but when you've got a clerk answering phone call after phone call after phone call, it rolls into the efficiency part.
This goes into water leaks. When you got a water leak that that the maintenance guys, they're busy out here. The girls could go in and say, okay, this block here, they can highlight it, put it on the website and say, hey, you're out of water. Sorry, we got a water leak.
This goes into, and your operator did it for me. This goes into zoning boil orders.
Yeah. Yep.
If you zone a boil order, if you put the address or the area on there, you're still going to have everybody from the other side of town calling you. Yep. But if you can give them a visual aid of a zoned boil order, then you don't have that million phone calls coming in.
Yeah. It's handy anymore if you can put something at people's fingertips where they can see it and they go, oh, okay.
You're going to be more apt to look at a photo of something than you are read a paragraph of it. Yeah. You are. It's just given knowledge. Yeah. If you notice over here on the other side of the screen, that's your legend. Mm-hmm. So your legend is what categorizes your assets. If you notice, all of them on there have a different symbol or per se color. It separates everything when you're looking at the map. Mm-hmm. And I pulled up,
and you can layer them individually.
100%.
If you want to just look at hybrids, you can, and take everything else off.
Just like that.
Just there we go.
That's your water system.
Yeah.
So you can see where your mains are. You can see, if you notice in there, all my hydrants are numbered. Well, that goes into your flush reports. If you can start at hydrant 1 and go to hydrant 30, then you can start at hydrant 1. And as you're going, you can keep track of what hydrants that are flushed and what are not flushed. Yeah. Goes with main size too. Now, that is not 100% dead set. Say this 2-inch main that Z's down here on this end. Say you dig that up and it's a 4-inch main. You click on that, instead of clicking 2, you click 4. It changes the color of that line from yellow to orange. Automatically. It's quick update. Because a lot of times, and I shouldn't say a lot of times, many times, they don't know the accurate main size because it may change.
Right.
You may come right out of that valve 4-inch and 2 foot down the way, you're reducing to 2-inch.
Yeah, it happens.
It happens all the time.
Then that operator or whatever says, yeah, that's a 4-inch line. Then when they dig it up 30 feet down the road, it's 2-inch. They can okay. We can
break it, but we can also, and I'm glad you said that, because we can break that line in that accurate vicinity to where it breaks from 4-inch to 2-inch. So it'll start out with an orange line for so many feet, and then it will go to a yellow line. Because at times, I mean, if it's a quick fix, maybe you just use the parts you had.
Yeah.
Maybe you just had to get water back to it.
Yeah.
Also on here, and it's kind of hard to see, your valves are going to be number 2. Mm-hmm. That is one thing we do when we map your system. We number all your valves, we number all your hydrants, we number all your manholes. Mm-hmm. Now, I've been to some places that actually have all them numbered already. Mm-hmm. If you already have them numbered already, I'll number them to how you have.
Put them right in.
Yeah. But if not, we usually go 01, 02, up to however many you have. But it's just easier to look at a valve and say, hey, we need to go shut off valve 7. And then, well, no, we need to go to the corner of Elm and Glenstone and shut off a valve there. Right. Well, you could have 5 valves sitting right there in that intersection. Right. Which one of them 5 do you want done? Yeah. Well, if they're numbered, then it's easier to hit that exact valve.
Well, and 2, we come in and map the system. 2 years down the road, we come in and do a street improvement, which we've all been there. The paver comes in and paves over manholes, paves over valves, and we're going, oh crap, I know we had it here. You got it. All we got to do is go back to the map, go back to the coordinates, and it'll walk you right to it.
And I see that about every other week.
All the time.
I do. I see it every other. And we do our best to find them.
Yeah.
There's times we don't.
Yeah.
But that's one thing I do is I've been equipped with a pretty good metal detector.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can get me in the vicinity, I'll do my best to try to help.
But then, when you're coming in to map that system and trying to find those manholes that's been covered up, how many times they've been covered up? How many times the blacktop been put over? I've seen
deep are they?
How deep are
they? And that doesn't just apply to blacktop. That entitles to yards.
Dirt, yeah.
How many people bring in loads of dirt to level their yard out and cover up your meter?
I don't want that thing sitting in my front yard.
Yeah. I don't need a box sitting out there to be seen.
Yeah, it happens.
Now this is the wastewater side of things. Now, if you also notice on the wastewater side of things, it's got directional arrows on it. That's the flow of the sewer system.
Yep. Very important too.
Very important. Because you get a new employee, all they see is manhole, manhole, manhole. They go into jet it and they send something opposite way.
Yeah.
You're gonna have problems.
Well, and this too. I talked briefly just a little bit ago about I-9. This right here. You'll need this information with your I-9 when you start doing your I-9 projects. Going from manhole to manhole, which way does this water flow? With this part of it right here is important.
And if you notice the peak line on there, that's force main.
Yep.
We color code. Gravity mains are going to stay green with an arrow. Force mains we're going to run pink. Force mains really don't need a directional arrow because when they go into one spot, they're going to one spot. Now, and normally they're going in a pretty well straight line to one spot.
Right.
So, fire hydrants, flush hydrants. When MRWA water maps one of your hydrants, the first three things we do before we leave that hydrant, we put the size of it, who made it, if it's got a valve on it. The only problem with shooting a hydrant valve that's 2 foot off a hydrant, when you look at the map above, they're sitting on top of each other.
Okay.
So you may be looking, unless you have one layer turned off, you may be looking for a hydrant and not be able to see it. But that also turns into, they may think somebody gets on that map later on down the way and changes the directional line of a water line. They may put that valve as a main valve instead of a hydrant valve.
Yep.
Just little things.
There's a lot of information that you could put on
flow,
part of
date flow.
Yes. Most of all of us do the ISO flushing and reporting fire departments. You can put all of that information on here too.
And that's a big thing I was going to bring up. A lot of fire departments do the flush test or the flow testing. And a lot of fire departments actually flush for cities. So, and so if you could build a relationship with that individual and you can just give them per se access to the hydrants, he could update all that while he's doing it. Instead of writing it on a piece of paper, then you've got to come back in and put it all in. But if you notice there's a calendar on there, you can put the dates that are flushed. Just going to help you in the long run to keep track of it. Because my binder, it only went so far,
But this is at your fingertips. This is all on your phone.
You're not trying to carry multiple things.
Right.
You're not trying to carry a backpack around all the time.
We carry a phone with us all the time.
Everybody's got a cell phone in their pocket.
And this is right there on your phone.
Full inventory of meters. So in this system, we went ahead and put their meter number. That works out with your clerk. Because I know a lot of clerks that can run a split screen and have DiamondMaps pull up on one screen and your billing software on the other. So
and important here too.
Important there too.
The inventory. You're gonna have to have
I'm gonna
a
guess.
number. So you could use that number.
Yes, yes. Every layer per se. So all the layers that I have right there underneath the screen, every one of those layers can transfer to a CSV at any time, and as many times you want. As many files as you want under your computer. You can actually set it to where when it downloads, you can have a separate file folder, maybe on your desktop screen that says flush reports.
Well, and like I said,
you keep, it's just record keeping is all it is.
When DNR comes in to do the inspection, you can pull up your flush, your hydrants.
Yeah.
You can pull up your valve.
That CSV file, that CSV file is the same as writing down in a notebook. All you're doing is handing them a more legible sheet.
Here it is.
A more accurate sheet.
Yeah.
And they're probably going to be very thankful that they're not going to have to try to dig and read dates and everything.
They'll have dates and times and everything there. So
correct. Correct. Every single asset you have in this map, everything that is in this map is backed up on 5 servers every night.
So like I said, if you can't get it, your system crashes, he can go into his.
You're able to do it, but it's just easier. It's just easier to make that 5-minute phone call. I'll get it back up and rolling. That way I can look at it and make sure everything is accurate. That's my goal. Was I want to make sure everything's accurate. That way, whenever I send you back on your way, there's no questions or mishaps.
Right.
This is where we're getting into the meter info.
Mm-hmm.
So the gray boxes on the left side of that, I can change any of those wording.
Mm-hmm.
I can add boxes. I can take away boxes. If you notice, meter number, address served.
Yeah, I point to where the gray, all of them gray boxes right.
So all these gray boxes right here, I can change the wording in all of them. I know a lot of systems. The city of Niagara, Carmen there has got on board with me. They still hand read meters.
Yep.
Well, now what Carmen has done is Carmen is entering their current read in her DiamondMaps when they go around, printing to a CSV file and having a sheet of paper right there beside her.
Wow.
Every month.
Another layer.
Because they're not ready to go to the new meters. They're just they're not.
Yeah.
One step at a time.
Right.
But instead of carrying around a clipboard and a piece of paper in wind, in rain, in freezing cold weather, she's got it all right there in her phone. Yeah, she just types in the current read, hits apply, and when she gets back to her office, she just prints that CSV file every month.
And there's her bill.
And there's her bill.
And she puts it right over in the billing and done.
Yeah, because when she types in that number, so in hers, she's got customer name, meter number, address served, current read. That's the 4 that she selects to print off every month.
Wow.
So when she's going down her billing list, it's all, your address is there, the meter number's there. You just take it. She just takes a ruler and just slides the list and types them in.
You got to go read them.
You got to go read them.
Why not put them in?
Why not put them in there? Well, and the thing with hers is it doesn't delete the month before. So she's got a full record on usage of that meter for the whole year.
Yeah.
Yes, she's going to have to go in there and do the addition, the simple addition, to add up how many gallons they've used from month to month or do an average. But yeah, it doesn't delete the previous month. It's all right there in one big column.
Wow.
She really jumped on board.
Many uses of this.
Oh, 100%. Camera right there.
Yeah.
Where it says attachments.
Yeah.
That's where we were staying. Take a photo of everything. Take a photo when you lock the customer.
Mm-hmm.
You never know.
Take a photo of that reading.
Yeah, take a photo of that reading. Take a photo of that lock being on that meter. I'm not gonna say 100% it's gonna hold up in court, but obviously you lock that meter, so might as well take a chance with it.
Yeah.
Just simple things.
Just another backup.
The notes column is under every single layer on here. It cannot be deleted.
Yeah.
When somebody puts a note in there, it timestamps it, date stamps it, who put it in there.
Yeah.
It's all inventory that you can't have somebody come in and mess it up. And if you notice right here at the bottom, GPS elevation.
Mm-hmm.
It tells you the GPS latitude, GPS longitude, and GPS elevation. And it will also, there's another column right below it that tells you how far away you are whenever you're shooting that GPS point.
Oh wow.
Because a lot of them are 2/10 of a foot away. But everybody also needs to realize that in the big world of this, If there's obstruction, when you're trying to get GPS point, it's shooting off satellites in the sky. Well, if there's trees or buildings, you're going to get thrown 3 to 4 foot off. Not a big deal. We can fix that. We just need to have note of it. But please, when you're getting the idea of getting GPS, please don't think that every one of your assets is going to be 0.2 of a foot away.
Right, dead on all the time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Obstruction
Like you
happens.
said, it happens.
Trees.
Yeah.
Trees,
But
buildings.
it's not going to be that.
They're not that far off. No. We're talking 3 to 4 foot.
Yeah.
Which that's close.
But you can fix it.
But we can fix that. Yes. Okay. Here's where we're gonna start the lead service side of it.
Oh boy.
Because say you want to set up your diamond, say you call us and you're like, hey, right now we don't have the funds or the time or anything to have our system GPS, and to be honest, I can't get to you right now anyway. So if you want to go a different avenue of it, we can set you up a DiamondMaps account.
Yep.
And you can drop a point in the vicinity
A pin.
of wherever you want that asset to be, whether it be a hydrant. And to be completely honest, a lot of these manholes and valves and hydrants, the aerials are that good on some of these maps. You can see them in a website.
Yeah, you sure can.
Meters are hard, because they're lost in a yard, but some of these are pretty easy to see.
Yeah.
You would just click it and drop a pin or point per se in that area. So excuse me. When you're on your DiamondMaps screen, your first click would be the draw. When you click on draw, that draw new features box right there will show up. Well, let me get a boat. Let me get
It's over here.
There we go. So this box will pop up. When that box pops up where it says meter, where it says second click, what it's gonna do is that's gonna cause a drop down that's gonna bring up every asset you have: manhole, meters, fire hydrants. You will want to select to make sure that says meter. After that, you click point.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you have your own GPS, like some systems do, you would click GPS point. But a lot of systems, they don't have the GPS part of it. They're just dropping a point.
So if they've got this on their phone,
Yep.
or on their iPad,
Yep.
you can get DiamondMaps right now. And then if you want to do your lead service line inventory, you can do it just for this and come back in and map it later.
Correct. You can do your lead service with it.
So
And then we can schedule a time come spring. And I'll come in and put exact points in.
And you can change their points, put it where it needs to be.
Yeah, you can. What I've had some systems doing is doing that. But instead of trying to drop it in the yard, drop it on the house.
Well, just like here, let me point over.
Can we?
Where am I? How am I? Here we go.
Yeah.
But right here, just say right here at one of these houses.
Yeah.
Let's say you dropped a point right there, and then you say that's where the meter is.
Correct.
And then you come to find out, hey, it's back here. Let's say it's here in the front.
Yep.
You could come in later, move that point,
Over
put
the
it
top
where
of
it's
the
supposed to be. But they could go ahead and drop the point there.
Yep. Do all the inventory.
And do all your inventory and have it all done.
Yep.
And then you can come in and move the points how they need to be.
Just simple as possible. Yeah. Simple.
So they could get the inventory done pretty quick.
You can
And have a map of it too.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Andy, can we see that question again, please?
Was there a question?
There was a question that popped up, but let's go ahead and go to the second screen. Once you do so, once you click on point, it will give you a crosshair, and then you will use that crosshair to pin the point of that location on the map. And then once you've placed the pin, then your box right here shows up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's where you enter in your meter number, your address served. If there's an attachment you want to save with it, phone number,
Mm-hmm.
customer information, any information you want to add for that meter, you go ahead and add it in. Yeah, I know on some new builds you won't have some of that information yet,
Mhm.
but you will have an address.
Right.
Go ahead and do it. Once you hit add, it will apply it to the screen. Then it's ready to go. Now let's go into the lead service side
Mhm.
on that before we go.
And this is just a layer
Yep.
underneath.
It's just on the bottom. It's where all this information for this meter would per se end. It will have a gray line that runs across that says lead service line inventory, and then all the DNR
keep
questions will
scrolling
show
down.
up. Yep.
Yeah.
So as we said, lead service line inventory, EPA, DNR. They come out with a spreadsheet.
Mhm.
Great spreadsheet.
Yep.
Great spreadsheet. Easy to use.
Could have been shorter, but it's all.
Could have been shorter. Easy to use on the Excel sheet. But we wanted to make it easier for the customer. Or the system per se. System per se. So they wanted to make it easier for them. So we implemented it into our DiamondMaps layer to where the same drop downs you have on your lines across, they're just going down, but all the same information, same wording, everything is to a T.
Yeah. Drop down boxes, type in boxes.
Yeah.
Everything is the same.
Everything's the same.
Yeah.
The only thing is, if you have a subdivision or a newer system,
Yes. This is what's good.
we can do it all at one time.
Yeah.
My wife's system, 297 meters. They redid their system in 2014.
And there's a lot of systems out there that's done this. So
Correct.
pay attention here.
Whole system, PVC mains,
Mhm.
brass cork stop,
Mhm.
brass saddle,
Mhm.
CTS to meter.
Mhm.
We did their whole system, 297 meters, in 2 minutes.
Believe it or not.
Believe it or not, 2 minutes for we completed their side of the meter
There's
because I was able to select every meter in that system. Now we didn't get to put the sizes in.
right.
Well, what we did is we put in 3/4 for everything on that,
change.
and then went in and changed down because you have more 3/4 meters or 5/8 meters
and
than you
that's
do ones and twos.
and that's what you can do right now, even on the spreadsheet. You could go in later on and change
Yeah.
information as you need to.
Yep.
So
But when I'm not exaggerating, when I say 2 minutes, I mean we were in and out in 2 minutes. But system side of the lead service is done.
Yeah.
Now she just got to worry
Backup is
about
done. The customer.
297 for the customer side of it.
Yeah.
And if you're getting in flyers and everything,
And if you're doing the flyers and you know half the people,
one thing I stress on these flyers, and I know you said that pictures weren't
they're
a
not.
must.
They're
But
not required.
What I've had system doing is when you're getting that what am I trying to say?
The template back.
The template back from them. There's a file button on there. Upload that template underneath that meter.
Yeah.
That way, if there is something that ever comes up with
It's
that,
there.
you've got it there. You're not having to try to dig it out of a file you put somewhere.
And
You've got a
that's-
visual photo
and
of it.
that's the thing. It's not in a filing cabinet somewhere. It's right here at your fingertips. You push the button, you push that meter, you pull that layer up, boom, it's right there.
Mhm. Yeah.
So you take a picture. If that customer takes a picture of that service line, upload that picture into this
Might as
one right
well.
here, and you got it right.
Might as well. Because one thing you can do is if you get all your template letters, say you get 50 at a time, you can drop them in a printer and scan all 50 of them at one time. And it takes 20 minutes to come back and type in the address for them.
Yeah.
Now it takes a little bit longer to find them, upload them,
Mhm.
but it's just you're just ahead.
Yeah.
You never know when you never know if you're going to need this information.
Right.
Or
Well, this is a living document. It's going to be with us from here on out. So any additions and stuff, you're going to have to make copies and put them in your filing cabinets and this and that, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
You can do it right here off the DiamondMaps on here on this layer, and you don't have to worry about the paper.
And you can still print it off.
You can print it off.
You can, if it ever
But
comes
it's
up, you can
It's
print
here.
it off of DiamondMaps if you need it again.
Yeah, if you need it, if you need to show somebody
Yeah.
something, you can print it off. But what I'm saying, you've got it in a filing cabinet right here,
Mhm.
and it's not taking up space in your office.
No, because you can't upload too much to this. You can't. There's not a. It's not like a cell phone, or
You can only do so much.
you can only upload so much before they want you to buy more storage. No,
Yeah,
you're not running out of storage on here.
it's just when I first seen what this could do, lead was just coming around, and everybody was kind of going, "Holy crap!
Yeah,
This is a game changer." I try to explain this a lot in classes, but like I said, we're not here to sell DiamondMaps. We're just telling you this is a very good tool to use with this lead inventory that you got to do. 2 minutes, 3 minutes, they had their side done.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah,
You sound like me on my first day of work whenever I come in and seen this, and I thought, what is this?
What is this?
What
Game
is
changer.
this? And then 3 months down the road, I'm like, why doesn't everybody have this?
If I guarantee you're probably sitting there, some of you are probably sitting there going, "Oh, they're just trying to sell us DiamondMaps."
No.
Honestly, Howard may kick me for saying this. I don't care if you buy it or not, but I'm going to tell you, if you would use this, you would see the difference it's going to make for you, your systems, your operators, and what you could do with it.
Even if you
You
do have
would
another,
see the difference.
even if you do have another GIS software, call me.
Yeah,
I'll set you up a 30-day, and after that 30-day free trial, you don't have to go with it.
Yeah.
Call me. I'll transfer all your data. I'll set you up a 30-day free trial. If you like it, we'll discuss some stuff after that. If you don't, it's all right.
go back to the other. Use the other.
Yeah.
But what we're saying, it's just, my God, what you
The price point, and I'm going to get in trouble for saying this too. The price, I want you to.
He's in a different room.
Okay, I want you to look at the price points. Please look at the price points, because I've walked into a system 2 weeks ago that was paying over $1,500 a year, and I got them in for $484. So
$484.
$1,000 doesn't seem like a lot,
What can you do with $1,000?
but how much? Well, but yeah, exactly. How of us are needing new parts? How many of us are needing new computers? I mean, just the little
Every little bit.
tools.
Yeah.
I mean, just the little things $1,000 can take care of.
Well, like I said, not here to sell it.
No.
Here to show you what you could do with it, how you can use it, and how it can change your life.
Right. Let's jump in this lead service.
All right, let's do it. We're here. There it is.
So there's your lead service. So the gray line the gray line right up here up top, that's what's going to split your regular meter info to your lead service info. System specific ID. I have a lot of systems that are using their account number,
Right.
because it doesn't change,
Right.
and that's fine.
If that account number is linked to the address, not to the person,
Yeah, it has to be linked to the address, and it doesn't change. Don't enter it twice.
use it.
Same with your service address. If you've got your service address in it up top and your zip code, don't enter it twice. I can pull it from up top whenever we do the transfer
One time.
and just, yeah. So what I do on a lot of places, if I'm setting up their map and I can see that they have that all installed, I don't even add those lines,
Right.
because I don't want them to take the time out of their day to enter it twice if they don't have
Right.
to.
Right.
All these other questions in the gray boxes over here to the side.
You see the arrows there? They're all drop down boxes, just like on the spreadsheet.
Now, if it has the two lines like up here, that's going to be one where you type it in.
Yep.
That's going to be where you type it in, but you do it all at once.
Yep.
You type in your information, you do your drop downs all at once, but then whenever you get done, you hit apply and it saves that data in there.
Yep.
So this is where you're going to run into your public water side. You notice that one thing that I wish could have been done, and you can correct me what lines, when we color coded lines from the DNR spreadsheet or columns.
The column.
I wish we could have color coded columns
Yeah.
for what needs to be. But get with me and Jim. I can get it. I can get you a copy emailed over. Jim can too. Of what are the? How would you want to word it?
On the spreadsheet,
Yeah.
color code, you should have it downloaded anyway, and they could see it on their
Yes.
on their
Of what
computer.
has to be done and what is optional,
Right.
say.
There's only two that's optional.
Yes.
That's R and S.
Or an RNS, yes. But I wish we could have color coded this
Yeah.
like that. Couldn't make it happen. But we did color code. If you look on the other side in our legend, we did color code the meter now. So I'll show you in a second when we get to the big screen. But we have color coded to where the inside of the dot will change. The inside of the dot color will change to the public water side or the customer side, whichever one you want to
Now
use.
we're talking about the dot
On the screen.
the meter dot on the map.
Correct. And we'll get there. We'll get there in a second. So here's where I kind of show you the drop down. So all the lead, copper, everything is worded the same way off the DNR spreadsheet. You just select which one you want, drop it back up, click to the next screen. This is the big one.
Yep.
This is your verification methods for public water side and customer side. Instead of doing the drop downs on them or typing in the numbers, you just select the box over here on the left side beside the number of which one you want to select.
How you did.
And however many you want to do it.
Yeah.
Which we don't have.
Like I said.
Which we don't have we don't have 13.
Well, you'll only use 1 through 8.
Yes.
The rest of them cannot be standalone. You'll have to do something else. Number 13, predictive modeling, is not a method in Missouri anyway. So really, you're going to use 1 through 8.
And 14, I don't know what
14, I wouldn't know what that would be.
I don't know what you put in there.
Yeah.
But yes, 1 through 8 on both sides. And then all you do is click OK at the bottom. And when you do so, it will type in what those numbers.
Oh, wow.
It will type in the numbers on the meter layer.
Right.
And then you hit apply and it will save them underneath there.
Cool.
This is kind of example how it works. If you notice, I have the address typed in up front top on the smock one. And let me finish this slide and then we'll answer that question. So I've got the address typed in up top, so I didn't type it in the second time because I didn't need to
do it twice.
I didn't need to do it twice. I went and did the system specific number ID just so you can visually see it. But then if you notice when you start selecting water main material, gooseneck, it's just filling in the blanks for you.
Yeah, same thing. Same thing. Right.
Same thing.
Same.
Can we get that question back up now, Andy?
Or if you can't read it to us.
Water system.
Got a quick question. Can I go ahead and unmute Brad and let him speak?
Sure.
Okay. That way, because this is a little lengthier than what we can put up on the screen, I do believe.
That's quite all right. Go ahead, Bradley.
Let me, there he is. And, oh, yeah, Brad, you have to unmute. Sorry, bub. There you are.
All right. How about now?
Yep.
I hear you.
All right. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. I was obviously on this meeting, and I concur with what Brandon was saying earlier about the city of Culen. All of the water line from the meter to the main is brand new. So I just wanted to point out, I really didn't have a question, but everything on the customer side of that, guys, is going to have to be verified by excavation, unless it was built, the home was built after 1989. What? No.
If that customer knows what it is and they verify what it is, you don't have to dig.
Even if it was built after 1989 or before 1989?
If that customer signs that sheet and says, I have copper, or I have galvanized, or I have PVC, you don't have to dig.
Then it's them and the EPA.
It's them.
Yeah.
They're verifying what they have.
I got what you're saying. So the other thing with that is too, is that on October 16th, for all of the customers that have not, for all the information, like the customer side that has not sent a letter in or been verified, you're going to have to send them a 2-page letter that says this is possible lead. Every customer that has reported galvanized or lead will also get that same letter.
Galvanized requiring replacement, a lead, unknowns, or customer refusals.
Yeah, and so that that has to be done within that 30-day window after the
30 days
deadline's
starts
up.
October
I was
17th.
I was
Yeah.
just pointing that out. A lot of misinformation out there with the lead service line at this point. Lots and lots of it.
And another misinformation, Brad, is I only have to do 10%. That's not right.
That's the number one thing.
10% is for next year, and the following year, 2025, 2026. If you can get it done this year, you need to get it done. Because that's going to create more work for you. Because if you only do 10% and you got 1,000 meters, you do 100 of them, you got to send out 900 letters to customers saying, we don't know what you have. So you just created more work for yourself in 30 days.
Well, right. That letter is auto-generated already. So there's the system doesn't have to create the letter at this point. It's already there.
DNR has done that for you. And we've done it. They've done it in 6 different languages.
So there's the other misinformation is what I'm hearing from most systems because they've been to classes with DNR, EPA. This 3-point verification, Jim, and maybe you can touch on that.
Yep. EPA says in their regulation book or requirement book says they would like to have 3 points of verification: your side, customer side, and then point of entry. Well, on your forms, you can see there's 2 spots. Where are you going to put the third one? So you're only required your side and the customer side. There's 2 spots on that DNR spreadsheet. It's all the room you got. So 2 spots. So you know what your side is, and the customer verifies, signs off what they got. Go.
And another note, just to jump in, and Andy can mute me at any time to get me to shut up. So the initial inventory is due October 16th, and then after October 16th, the baseline inventory starts, and that's when they want the water systems to start verifying what they have at the water mains. So that email was sent out to every system, every public water supply in Missouri, probably about 3 weeks ago. So anyway, that's just another thing, another layer of the lead service line that you guys just mentioning now. But
I will say, Brad, and I'll say to everybody out there too, right now, worry about the inventory, getting the inventory done, or getting it almost as completed as you can get between now and October 16th. Because like I said, there's going to be more work done October 17th if you do.
Right. So anyway, all right. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, Brad, thanks. We had another question there, Andy. If it come up, then went away.
So let's jump back into this real quick.
Okay.
Public water side, this is just a mock I built. This is how public water side is going to look. Customer side is going to look whenever you get it all filled out. There is a box in there for customer refusal. We've all had it.
Yep.
You're going to have them. Just check the box and just do not do any of the information on the customer side.
You'll do your side.
You'll do your side, won't do any customer
side. The system side, you'll check customer refusal and go all the way down to additional comments.
Yep.
And just write in customer refusal.
But you'll need to do the information in the other details, the top 3 boxes right there. Or the top 2. You still need to do how you verified yours and if this will be used as a lead.
How you verified yours. Yes.
And then the yes or no on the lead and copper sample side. Right. This is how we're going to get into the color coding. I want to show this before we go to the live side of it.
Okay.
So this is what we were talking about. If you notice the dots on the screen, points, they've got the account number, system specific ID right above it. But if you notice in our legend, it shows the circle and it says public water side owned service line material. And then if you notice how it's got the rings toward the bottom of the legend, it's a legend that says customer owned service line. When you start changing all the from like copper to galvanized to lead to asbestos, all those dots on the inside of them circles are going to start changing colors. When you start doing the customer side verification, it's going to start changing colors. That's how I was speaking of earlier, that you can see in these basically cities that are in the lead belt, you're going to be able to see where their hot spots are.
Yeah.
Now, this isn't per se Maine yet. We're working on that part to where you can see that after, but we're not worried about that.
Yeah.
We're trying to get this meter
service line image.
Yes, yes. We've kind of been talking about that back and forth on the main side of it, how we're going to make it work, and we will. You just got to give us time to figure it out. But this is the main thing of the color coding. You can, and also on this color coding part, it helps you keep track of how far you are on your inventory.
Filling out affidavit. What was that question? I didn't get it all.
Affidavits for parts of the system that are known to not be lead.
Okay. So you've got affidavits signed by the customers, or
the problem
they're
I've ran
not
into,
being lead?
well, and then the problem that me and you have talked about before, and correct me if I'm wrong, if those affidavits don't have all of the customer side of the signatures or questions on there, it's not 100% valid to fill out the customer side of the meter.
Yeah.
Yes.
The templates has got
The templates have to have all the questions
in pretty much it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's just one thing it needs to make sure and have on there.
Right.
Is it's got to have all the questions that are asked by EPA on there.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Yeah. But once that customer tells you that I've got galvanized, I've got 3/4 inch line, I've got whatever. If they want to tell you what they got in the house, put it on the form. If not, leave it blank.
But please get a signature.
Get a signature.
I don't care where it's at.
Now?
Hello?
Hello?
Hello, this is Kenny. Can you guys hear me now?
I can, Kenny, go ahead.
Sorry, I was having trouble unmuting earlier. So, yeah, so the way we're working our inventory, we're at Fort Leonard Wood here. So it's a little bit different situation. But we've got GIS database information for all of our service lines on the installation. So all service lines 2 inch and smaller were required by the state, according to Austin Dudenhofer, to do a physical verification of 10% of those service lines, just to verify that our GIS data is correct.
Because you got it digitally mapped, yes.
Correct. And so we're doing that, except for areas that I've been told. I've worked on the installation since 2008, and there's certain areas of the installation that I'm 100% confident that these whole areas of housing or certain sections of buildings, based off my experience, I know those service lines are non-lead. They're either copper or plastic from the main to the building. And so those are the affidavits that I'm going to be writing, saying based on my experience.
Yes.
And that's what I was looking
as you, the operator, yes.
Correct. And that's what I was looking for. I was planning on, putting those buildings in a spreadsheet with the information on the service lines. But as far as the wording on that affidavit, I know it has to be notarized and we're going to do all that, but I didn't know.
Well, they'd like for it to be notarized.
Okay. I just didn't know if there was any suggestions on the writing of that affidavit, if there's certain things that I should hit on, or just short and sweet, just kind of what you guys thought.
So that's what we're doing with my wife's system. Her operator's been there 32 years. Her attorney is actually getting something together and then having it notarized to send in.
Yeah.
He felt that it was
Now, you're not going to send that into DNR.
No, but
You're
have
gonna
it
keep
ready.
it on the file.
Have it ready,
in your
yeah.
office.
He felt the need that he needed to kind of step into that section. I don't know if it's a given.
I would say that's up to you. If you want to do the lawyer and everything, you want to sign an affidavit saying, hey, I verified this, I put it in, I know, I seen it, sign it, be done.
Okay,
So,
okay.
thanks for your question, Kenny.
Yep, thank you guys.
Before we go to live version, why don't we take about a 10-minute break?
Let's do it.
And let's get everybody a smoke break, pee break, and let's get back here. It's 10:30, so let's get back here at 20 till, and we'll kick this off at 20 till, and we'll go live version of DiamondMaps and how do we do it. We are back. Oh, thank you all. I needed that break for a minute. We are going to go now. We're going to show you how to do mapping live.
Well, before we go live, this is where I was telling everybody, this is going to be the step-by-step process of how to transfer to the DNR spreadsheet.
Oh, okay.
And you can do this anytime you want. You can transfer to that spreadsheet 100 times if you feel like it, just so you can kind of get an idea of how it works, what you're going to expect in them lines toward the end.
Right.
You know, if you're going to have to be replacement.
Yeah, one thing is just backing it up.
Yeah, it's just backing it up. So this is going to be the transfer process.
Okay.
So step one, and you guys get out cell phones, take a picture of each one of these slides. I typed out all the information for it of how to do it. So it's just a little record keeping you can have. Step one, you're going to want to click menu in the top corner of your screen. When you click menu, it's going to have watch videos, some other sorts. You're going to want to scroll down to where it says special purpose tools. When you get to special purpose tools, go ahead and click. Once clicked, it's going to show up with the box under step 2, which is which you will want to select lead service line inventory. Once selected, box 3 will show up. View recent reports or export inventory report. You're going to want to export inventory report. After that is exported, you're going to get the box that says lead service line inventory export. In that lead service line, in those 2 drop-down boxes right there, you're going to want to make sure that the map layer says meter, and the output format, hit pick and select Missouri.
Yep. No. Yep.
There is, last I looked, there were 17 different states on there.
Yes.
So, make sure it says Missouri. If not, well, and you can kind of see over here on the far side of the screen. Or let me bring it back.
Tennessee, Indiana.
Yeah, Tennessee, Indiana, Oklahoma, Texas. They're all in there.
Yeah.
Make sure you select. And I think Missouri's second one's still down. I think we're toward the top. Once that's done, it will fill into where it says meter and mo. You will want your box to look like that on a. I got to figure out the side of the screen. You'll want to make sure that these boxes are correct on this precise side of the screen. Once we get to here, this is where I was talking that you can sub in your system-specific ID number, your address, and your zip code from up above. If you notice, they all have drop-downs.
Mm-hmm.
So that drop-down is going to be every icon table under that meter layer from top to bottom. You will just hit that drop-down, and you would select a meter number up top. Then when it transfers, it would fill it in. If you notice, I clicked address served, and now it's all uppercase. That's because I pulled it from up top. On the lead service line inventory form, it says service address. So whatever you have on your meter layer toward the top, for say address, anything, you will want to make sure that that is the wording that is in that gray box. And that is right there. Once that's all done, you've got all your boxes lined, ready to go. You will need to click in or you will need to type in your water system ID number. If you don't know it, you can hit click here. It will run by cities. I don't remember how it runs.
Yeah.
But you'll be able to scroll through there. You'll be able to find your facility. Once that's filled in, you will hit generate report. Once you hit generate report, it will do its own little thing. It will show in the top right part of the screen that it's downloading. It's downloaded, but then you'll get a box like right here, that says success. You want to make sure that download report says success. If not, you've had a mishap along the way. You need to go back and fix what you need to fix.
Now, will it show you what you need to fix?
No.
You'll
No.
just have
You'll
to
have
go
to-
back through it.
And once you start looking at it, it'll be a pretty. I've never had one that didn't say success.
Okay.
So it usually on the line before, it's going to generate a report. Your mishap is going to be if you didn't select your address from up top, it's going to leave that column blank because you're not going to have an address in there. You're not going to have a zip code in there or a system specific ID in there.
Okay.
Once that's done, it's going to fill in all the blanks on your DNR spreadsheet.
That's what we want.
All your boxes are filled. This is where your color coded boxes are coming into play.
Mhm.
Gets toward the end to where now the yellow boxes are your replacements. Info needed. If you notice, yes. Since I just generated the report with the mock file, there's still a lot of info needed, but that's what's going to come up with it.
Yeah. Once you get all the information in there, you'll change all of that. That's what we want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You've just got to, when we're just trying to build a mock, we don't have all that information in there.
When you start doing this on using DiamondMaps or whatever, or just the spreadsheet.
Just doing it by yourself. Yeah.
You'll see how it changes. So.
Yeah, correct. So now do you want to jump over to the live side of things, or do you want to take a questions?
Well, if there's any questions on that,
or if I need to scroll back, if you missed a picture on that generating of the report,
we can go
I
back
can scroll back to that slide and you can snap a photo of it.
or you can email Brandon.
And I can email this over to you.
Email that to you.
Yes.
So if you need that, I'm sure Andy's going to put his email address up here. I know it was up there before, but any questions that you may think of later on too, just email him, email him, call me. If I don't know the answer, I'll sure ask Brandon.
Leave a voicemail if you're gonna call me though.
Yeah.
Leave a voicemail, send text message. I'll answer.
Yeah. There's his email up on the screen right now.
And Andy, if you want to put my phone number up there too, you can.
But if you got any questions right now, ask away. If not, we'll go
over to the live version.
Go to the live version. Now, are you going to go through the whole thing, what you can do with this?
I've got a pretty good mock built up.
All right, good deal.
The mock I built goes a little bit further than lead service.
Cool. Well, that's what we need.
It kind of shows you how you can implement pretty much everything in your town to make it work.
Good. All right.
Let's roll into the slide side of things. So when you log into your DiamondMaps, it's going to how your assets and everything on the screen now, that's how yours would. It would just be your assets in your town. This is just a town I picked because I needed some of the like the ballparks in there to show you just the availability of the different things you can do. This is the menu button I was talking about that you will scroll down for your special purpose tools. But also in this menu button, this is your watch videos.
There's the videos.
All of these right here.
Let's go back to where that was at real quick. There.
Menu.
Yep.
Get help. Watch videos.
Yep.
All these videos right here, they're going to be digital videos to show you how to do it, but it's going to talk you through how to do it at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's going it's going to give you a step-by-step tutorial to do to access it and to do everything on DiamondMaps that you need to do. You can print a map from here. You can select and modify. That's kind of where I was getting into with your lead service. If you want to select and modify and you want to do, say, this whole subdivision right here, you can draw a big box around it. It highlighted every meter in there.
Every meter.
You come up here to your action. And when you drop that action bar down, you can set in all of your lead service at one time.
And you put it in one time.
Put in one time, hit apply, and it fills in all.
And it applies to all of them.
Yep. Yep.
So if you've got a subdivision, 50 houses in this subdivision, they was all put in about the same time, you know what the service was, and you know what the service line material is, you know what everything is. Select that, highlight it, do it all at one time, put all the information in, it'll do all 50 houses.
That kind of applies on customer side at times, though.
Every bit.
If you have the same contractor come in and do a whole subdivision,
And same thing on each side. Yep.
they most likely they just ordered a whole bunch of pipe and did all the houses the
Yep.
same.
Yep.
Your next column up here is going to be your layers. Now, your layers is, if you want to look at it this way, your layers is every asset you have. From your meters, your fire hydrants, your valves. Now you can turn any of these on and off at one time. Say you just want to look at your meters and your water mains. You can look at your meters and water mains. All it is with a simple click to make that happen.
As he's clicking, you'll notice the map.
And I'm clicking, you notice it's growing more to it. So it's growing your map. The only problem I found is if you're trying to look at one thing, minimize it. You get all of your assets up there at one time, and it's just going to jump. Like right now, in this intersection right here, I can zoom in on it, yes, and spread it out, but it's still jumping. It's still a little bit jumping. You zoom in and out. You can zoom in and out over here on the right side of the screen, or if your mouse, you can roll your mouse in and out to zoom in and out also. Your measuring tool, this is where you measure your distance or your area. I was going to dabble into this in a little bit. My wife worked with her engineer one day on a sidewalk grant, and it was just the initial startup of a sidewalk grant in her area. She got on her map. She drew out the sidewalk that needed to be replaced.
Oh, wow. Okay.
She gave the engineer availability to the map. He jumped on the map at her computer. He was able to jump on here, distance, drop it down to feet, click on one end, go to the other, hit done. It saved it on the screen, 313 feet. He was able to come over here to his markup, his elevation, drop the elevation in a couple spots just to kind of see how the sidewalk was going to lay out. Now, like we stated, not 100% accurate,
But close.
but close. He had everything right on the screen. And all this was the initial setup.
Hmm.
Well, we all know when we get an engineer on site that initial setup money, we're talking close to $10,000.
Yeah.
Well, if we can minimize that money, we're saving money.
Yeah. Especially if he's already using our tools.
Correct. But this doesn't just apply to a sidewalk grant.
Yeah.
This is where you
Great.
pull out for sewer mains,
Yep.
water mains, streets.
Yep. We all got the mains that we know we need to replace.
Correct.
And this is what you could go in and measure a section in, measure a block,
Yep.
and say, we need to replace 200 feet of this. You'll have the measurements.
Well, let's just per se that this parking lot right here, is your lagoon. Same thing. Click. Tells you how many acres your
How many
lagoon is.
acres it is? Yep.
Yeah. You can use that for lagoons. You can use that for properties being bought and sold that throughout the city.
Yep.
You can utilize it for, well, we do it with buildings for conferences. How many vendors we can get in a conference?
Yep.
You know, just little things like that that can really benefit the future of things. Also in this markup, this is your coordinates. If you notice, whenever I'm moving this mouse across the map, it's moving the coordinates. Say you have a locate on this property, they give you a pretty good vicinity of it, but you can dial it into where exactly they're going to do their digging.
Yep.
And that helps a lot in districts, fields.
Now, we talked about lead service line and doing a pin. Can we use this to do a pin?
The coordinates?
Yep.
You would drop a pin.
Then
Yes.
do it. Yeah.
Well, you would find you would move your as good as possible. Close, draw, point, and then as soon as I come over the top of it,
There it
see
is.
how it puts the box around the
Yep.
crosshairs. I'm right on there.
There it is. So that's what we're saying. They could use this to start their initial lead service line,
Yes, because
drop it a pin.
Yeah.
As we see now on the screen, there it is.
some meter softwares have
Coordinates
coordinates built in.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have coordinates built in, but you're not able to import and export out of that
Right.
software.
Right.
But yes, you could do it like that. And then also say we put this meter in the wrong spot. Click on it. Action. It's fine. When you click on that action, it brings up to delete feature.
Mhm.
Click delete feature.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah. Or you could go back in later on and move it in the right spot.
Exactly.
So
You get lost in your map, say you're way out here, click your home button over here, brings you right back to your beginning. Address bar. This is where you can type in, your places and this, that, and another. You're looking for an address, you had a piece of property bought that you're not on there yet. Say your main end's here, this piece of property is bought. You can pull up that address of that property and then start pulling out your measurements, how far you are from the main, what size main you got coming, what you're gonna have to attach with and go.
well, and you can look for a piece of property on this too. So if you typed in 101 Main Street, it'll
Yeah.
take you over to
It'll
one.
take you to that. It'll take you to that. Your little blue guy over here, he shows you a street Google view. Hey, there's a fire hydrant.
Yep.
But if you keep looking, you'll find a manhole.
There's
Just
there.
a guess.
Yeah.
Sewer clean out.
Yep.
Just look. I mean, you're just a guess. But he can walk you down the road.
And it tells you what streets.
It tells you what
Yep.
streets you're on, what intersections you're on. You can also see down here in the bottom right corner, this imagery was done in June of 2024. So, like I said earlier, they're doing a lot of updates.
So that's pretty fresh, isn't it?
Pretty fresh in there.
But like that right there. You see the hydrant.
Yep.
You see the valve.
Yep, you got.
You've got a visual.
I can
of
zoom
where
in on
everything's
it.
at.
I can zoom out on it. I can go to right here. You pretty well know that's valve.
Yeah.
When you're done with it, you just come up here on the left-hand screen, back up, we're back to normal.
Yeah.
The yellow GPS right to the bottom of that, that's what you would click on to your phone, or
Mhm.
let's say your tablet had cellular data.
Mhm.
That's what you would click on to pull up your GPS for wherever you're standing and trying to approach it.
On my phone, I would go to that right there. it would pop up on my phone.
It will say allow to use your location. You
Yep.
click yes.
Yep.
And then it will
And that little man, as you walk,
hover over the
will
top.
hover. Yep. And if you get close to a valve or a meter, whatever you're looking for, it'll take right real close to it.
So if we notice on the meters, I did the lead service line inventory for them, just a mock up. But I want to take them off and I want to do, I want to kind of show the water side of things, just the technology you can do with it. On here, this PVC line, 6-inch PVC.
It's over here in the ledger too.
It's over there in the legend too. 10-inch PVC. You can set these to where they're coming off. All of it may be color coded, but you can save the material information in there also.
Right.
It shows you where your T is placed on your hydrants. Hydrant 17, size 5 1/4, Mueller, valve found yes, flow 220 gallons per minute, flush program. It was last flushed 11/11/23 at 2:45 p.m. for 6,182 gallons.
And this is what you can print out.
Yep.
And have in that inspection when you know it's coming on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yep.
Have all your paperwork there, and here's your hydrant.
Yep.
Data flow and all of your hydrants.
Correct. Dead end hydrant off 6-inch PVC main.
Yep.
Just that little information is going to valve number 108, size 2-inch. 2-inch valve off 2-inch CTS main. Valve placed for future expansion if needed. Valve is currently off. That way you don't have somebody coming out thinking a valve is on.
Yeah.
Then you got problems.
Well, this is off. It needs to be on. Well,
Yeah.
wait a minute here.
Yeah.
Let's look.
Yeah.
It's happening.
But just the little things. You can put in your T's. Now, if you notice when we get over here, water main material is 3 different colors. But if you get to looking at the lines, they're a different line style. You can line style your mains.
Okay.
If you notice that PVC is going to be a solid line, ductile is going to be a checkered line with a gap in the middle, and then CTS is going to be a longer line with a little space in the middle. It's just helping separate not only your line size, but your line material.
Right.
You may be wanting to do upgrades in your system, then you can keep track of where your material is that you need to upgrade.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to step in and upgrade a CTS or a PVC main right away.
Right.
You're going to probably want to focus on the main right there.
Or if you got asbestos cement, and you know, hey, I want to get rid of that.
Yeah,
That could be color coded and lined up back. So
while in Street View, no. You cannot do anything to the map. You can zoom in and move all sorts, but you cannot add to the map while you were in Street View.
that would be neat.
It'd be neat.
Maybe you could work on it. That would be neat.
Let me just add that. Let me just add that to my itinerary.
Because that could open up a whole new chapter here.
So let's focus on the sewer side of things for a minute.
Okay.
So simple sewer system, manholes run down. Got over here in your legend that your lift station is the greenhouse. Everything is all poured in this lift station. Back up here to your gravity main. So when you look at it in the view of it, all this is downhill. All downhill, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that lift station is pretty much just at the bottom of that property. This is all up high again. So we're pumping from that lift station back up force main, back into a gravity feed system. We go this way.
Yeah.
It gives it gives the individuals that step into your system in the future, we're all going to have to hire new employees from time to time. It gives them a general idea of how that sewer system runs. That way they're not just blank with it.
Right. Well, looking at this map right here, that right there on Missouri West, that street right there, you would think just by looking at it, going, oh, it just runs straight down the street.
It doesn't.
Well, and we know the elevation difference, so instead of saying, oh, I've got to make a sewer tap here on one of those houses, you better look at your map, because if you're out there on Missouri in front digging there, you're not going to find sewer.
No. And you're 100% correct. Because when you look at a flat paper map,
Yep, you don't know.
You don't know. You don't know the elements of it unless you're standing there. And in reality, even if you're standing there looking at it, they can do some weird things.
Yeah.
But also on the wastewater side of things, you can keep track of your smoke testing and your observations.
That's what we was getting at.
And if you're coming to the boot hill, I'm going to do a full class on smoke testing and smoke observations.
So
DiamondMaps.
That's at the Boot Hill Conference coming up in August. Gonna use this with your smoke testing and your I9. So if you're making repairs in the area and you come across the other utilities, can you make notes and locations and types of utilities added to the map?
Yes. So when you go to add your layers, you notice we have electric, gas, storm sewer. You can add in a basic layer for phone utilities.
Fiber
optic.
Yep.
You can add them to your map. You may have to drop a coin in the vicinity of where, because all we map is waterways.
And if you're digging up a water main here, sewer main, whatever, and you see that fiber optics right here, you can drop a point right there.
Exactly.
So
exactly. But I also like to use that under the leak side of things.
Yes.
Let me turn it on. So this leak right here.
That was a red X.
It was a red X because that leak is not fixed. Green X's are leaks that are fixed. Let's scroll out.
Which is color code.
Yeah. Let's scroll out. Here we have a yellow X or a green X. Just the same way. Let me get back to it. I'm sorry. I apologize. I apologize. Repaired with 8-inch Smith Black clamp. Main is 5 foot off curb and 38 inches deep to the top of the pipe.
Now, if you scroll down where your notes and attachments, you put a picture.
Put a picture there. But you can also type in the notes what utilities are in that intersection.
Right there. Yeah.
And what I do with the attachments, you got a tape measure in the truck.
Yep.
Take a tape measure and pull off that water main, sewer main, how far each utility is, how far above it is.
You can put it all down.
Photos.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes, you can type it in there, but that visual photo of where it's at is going to help you a lot better while digging than it is just trying to get a tape measure out and make sure it's top of that main.
So the answer to the question is yes. You can put any kind of utilities, add it to here.
It's your map.
Pop a pin and do whatever.
This is one thing that I should have stressed in the beginning. When Missouri Water sets you up a map and we issue you a map through DiamondMaps, this is your map. You can do anything you want with it. You can add to it. You can take it away from it. This is your map. I feel like a city map is pretty much like it, bro.
Yeah.
It's
yours.
It's yours. It needs to be with that city.
And you can give permission to whoever you want. If you don't want to give permission to anybody, you don't have to. No. And that's how I stress for it to be. But let's jump back to this smoke testing because, Mr. Weber, he does smoke testing for Missouri Water. And they enjoy it. Yeah.
So if you notice over here, smoke observations, corrected, false, true. Smoke from roof drain, medium smoke quality. Veterans driving and Oh, look,
Attachments.
put the attachments in there.
And all they have to do, you, the operator, whoever, take a picture of that when they're doing the smoke testing, and boom, it's right on the map. And put it right.
Yep.
That's neat.
Just save that photo. This one is not fixed. There's that photo.
Look at there.
You know, that photo is right there at your fingertips anytime. And also, if you look at that visual photo right there, you know exactly pretty much in the area that you need to walk to to find them spots.
Yep.
The concrete changes colors in that photo.
Yep. Sure does.
You know, you're right off the where the concrete splits on one side.
Yep.
That's where the photos come into play, is right. I mean,
Yep.
that's the number one thing. So I noticed the other day you guys got the city pool in your area. You now get to take care of the city pool.
Oh yeah.
So with what comes to that is parks departments.
Yep.
Parks departments. How often do parks departments hire a young kid that's in high school to come mow for them for the summer?
Everybody.
Everybody does. So if you notice over here, parks department mow. This is the local baseball field in your town. This is your local city park. How hard is it to drive that kid around and show him every little spot that he's got to mow for the whole month?
Yep. Yep.
When you can draw over the top of it, color code it to where he's got it on his phone.
So here you go.
You don't have to give him access to water, sewer.
No.
You can give him access just to view your parks
What
department
you
park,
need to do. Yeah.
and he can do it. That also comes in, because I know you've got them, water fountains.
Yep.
You got to winterize them. You don't winterize them, you have some major problems.
You're gonna fix it.
Well, if you notice on these public water fountains, they're at the ballpark. Are they winterized? Yes or no? No. Red. Yes. Green.
Green. Yep.
So you know that you've got 3 winterized right now, but you've still got 2 that you need to get done in the next 3 months before winter, or you're going to have a major water problem.
Yep.
That's just little things like that I think people overlook that can be taken care of. Here's your road closure. We'll take everything off the map. So here's your road closure like we've been doing.
Yep.
You know that if you're on airline drive or veterans drive, you're not coming out here. This drive right here, it's not going to be accessible for the day.
Well, and 2, this is what we said a while ago. You can take this section and highlight this section of the map. You can put it on your website. You can tell your citizens, say, look, this street right here from X to X is closed. We're doing work here today. Find an alternate route.
Hold your horses. I was getting there.
Oh, okay.
Jumping the gun over here. So you zone into that spot, hit share. There's your URL. You hit copy.
Yep.
You paste it to your Facebook page. You paste it to your website.
Yep.
Once it's pasted, they click on it. And this is what they view.
Yep.
They see where it says road closure right here. They can move.
Yeah.
They can zoom in. They can zoom out. They can't make a single change to that map.
Right.
They don't see any other layers on it.
Yep.
They don't see where water meters are. They don't see where nothing is.
No any other information.
They just know that they've got a road closure right there.
Yep.
So now that we're talking about we've got a road closure, most likely we're going to have a boil order when we get done.
If that's why.
That's why. We're going to have a boil order. So let me turn. Okay. So if we notice we've got a subdivision right here. Valve 102, okay, is what enters the subdivision from the north. Valve 37 is what enters it from the west. We know that the east is a dead end line, and we've got nothing really coming south that ends up in a T.
Mm-hmm.
So say we've got a main break in this subdivision. Have to kill all these meters, have to shut off valve 37, valve 102. Well, the rest of your town isn't on a boil order. So you would just come in here, Shut that off. Your legend now shows up boil order.
Mhm.
You take that, hit share, copy. You got your URL for that one. Put that on your Facebook page. Then these residents right here can see that they are the only ones under a boil order. You don't have your whole town calling. You don't have your whole town throwing a fit. We just know that those residents right there on Airline Drive are the ones under a boil order.
Right.
With a boil order and a road closure comes a work order. Why pay for a work order system when you've got one built in?
Right there.
Right there. You can do new. You can do new reoccurring. New reoccurring should be, say you've got a lift station you've got to mess with every bi-weekly. Let's just say bi-weekly every Wednesday. We need to go in and inspect that manhole lift station, make sure everything's running good. Same with a hydrant. Say we need to go in bi-weekly and flush a dead end line that's maybe got 2 valves on there that doesn't use enough water to keep it flowing through the system and it's getting stale. New and new recurring, the same way. I'll do this now. So say, let me.
Does it need a point?
It needs a point.
Need a point.
Okay, so say manhole number 4 right here. Yep. So now we're going to associate this feature on the manhole later or general location. Let's associate it with this manhole. So if you notice your work order, now this work order number up here, it can be edited to roll with a meter number. Say you've got your billing software. I know some billing softwares do generate work orders.
Mhm.
Well, that's fine. Instead of carrying that paper copy around, let's implement them together. Let's take that paper work order copy number and put it under this work order number. Once that's done, you can title it, description of it, work performed. Work performed comes in later after it's completed.
Okay. Yeah.
Assignee, your employees you assign that work order to. So your clerk would assign it to you. I would assign a work order to you. Once that's completed, you will get a notification that it needs to be sent to you. So basically, work order, you can say you have a leak. Say you have a leak and you need to fix that valve or fix that meter. You can actually attach a photo of what that work order is going to be. Or you can save that photo for the end after you fix that leak. You can take the photo of those parts, how it was fixed, that it was fixed, and leave them under this work order. Once that's done, you hit add. You go to your work order system. Browse work orders. Here's your work order that you just did. So now we're logged in under you. You open this up. You click that it was started. You hit apply. With that being said, oh, Jim didn't start it. So then you would come in and complete it. I can't do it because I'm not logged in under you. Now that it's completed, you would apply, it's completed. Then it gets approved by the board. It's done. Correct.
Yeah.
But at the whole time, this work order timestamps it, date stamps it, who the initial setup was. It will show when you started it. It will show the time and date when you completed it, and it will show the time and date when it was approved. At any time, I can come in here and export to CSV. Yep, you're not a map manager. I would select on this drop down, and I would go down to work order and send that to an Excel sheet. And I have a whole list of work orders that I did for per month. Yeah. It's just a built-in tool that's free.
Right.
You're already paying for your DiamondMaps. Why not add the work order part in too? It's free.
And it works good.
And it works good. It's efficient. I'm going to have to shape up on it a little bit, I think, because I don't use it that much.
Yeah.
But whenever, if you guys are interested in the work order part of it, I'll shape up on it and we'll get this back going. But just the endless possibilities that I've stated over, and it's not just this map. It's just GIS altogether.
Yeah. What
you can do to benefit your system now for the future, it's just the answer is why wouldn't you do it?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you grow your system? And one other thing that's in here that I didn't add, I have a system that they run the local cemetery and they've got their cemetery plots plotted in here.
Real.
Of vacant properties, the individual that is buried there, the individual that has purchased that property, but still living, and it's all color coded. So then they can coordinate with the funeral home of what properties are available for that per se funeral or cemetery.
Wow.
Because you don't take that in, you don't think about that a whole lot.
Yeah.
Until it's ran out.
Yeah.
Or until you've got a sewer main that runs right through the middle of it. Because we've heard stories.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions on?
I know we went through a lot of stuff here real quick, but any questions at all, chime in the chat box or think of something later. You can always email us, but these GIS maps, they're more than just a mapping system.
Yeah.
This is a tool that you guys can
create
your own.
Yeah. I got one thing we left out. How to transfer to the whole idea of today. How to transfer into the DNR spreadsheet. Let's do it live. Let's show them how to do it.
Okay. I'm game.
Yeah. Let's I showed you the step-by-step earlier, but let's just do it live. Menu. You're going to scroll down. Special purpose tools, like we selected. Lead service line inventory. Export inventory report. Make sure it says meter. Make sure it says Mo. Next. Make sure everything's filled in the blank. I've already got a number in there. Generate report. It's working. Success. Mike, can we go to that report? Here's your DNR spreadsheet. I get on mine.
I may have a mouse for just a second.
Give us 1 second here. So now we're on the DNR spreadsheet, and the first thing that you're going to want to do when this comes up, you see where that says enable editing? You have to click it. If you don't put enable editing, when you go to click on the sheet, you will not be able to do anything.
Yeah.
None of your clicks will matter. So here's your first page that all of us have read 100,000 times to get through. This is how DNR will, or DiamondMaps will fill in the blanks of your DNR spreadsheet. If you notice, we've got system specific ID. It filled in your water service ID number for all of them. Water system common name. Service address. Zip code. all your main materials. You notice I've got some that are blank, but I've got 3 that I have completed. Okay, so you can see them. Non-lead, no galvanized, require replacement.
Tier 1,
Tier 1, the third one is Tier 2,
which is all right.
which is all right. Single family, multifamily. After 1982, info needed in that column, fine. I did send it in there. Where's your verifications? Yep.
Okay.
There's the. So if you notice your 2 blue boxes right there in B and W, that's where your verifications are going to be at. Of your side of the meter and the customer side of the verification. And then we get to the end. No material hooked up on meter side.
Just any notes, farm
Any
meters,
notes, yes.
anything vacant, lock, customer.
And that is one thing. Please put in the notes because I had that question one day. Farm meters, as they call them.
Mhm.
When a lot of these water districts were put in, and I don't know how the city side of it works. A lot of these farmers bought 4 or 5 meters at one time to fill a grant.
Yeah.
Well, those meters are hooked up on the public water side, but have never been, or in reality per se, will be hooked up on the customer side.
Yep.
So make sure and do the public water side of that meter, but in the additional comments, please put farm meter, no existence ever hooked up.
Just no customer service.
No customer service. Please make sure and put that part into the notes on your farm meters, or abandoned properties. Abandoned properties are going to run in the same way. So, anybody got any questions? Now's the time, and we'll get going through them.
Okay. On behalf of MRWA, thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next time around.
Thank you all.